AverMedia's just delivered the 1-2 punch to our chins with the Live Gamer 2.1 capture card I reviewed last week, and now the Live Streamer Mic 350, a USB plug-and-play microphone with a pretty damn good software suite, which we'll be touring later, and this is the first microphone that supports Dirac. But before you pull the trigger on a purchase, I'm going to directly recommend that you watch the rest of the review, because some of the sounds slipping out of that Cardioid capsule really soured my milk. That was a really weird way of saying it didn't sound very good.
I'm the Deluxe Megatron 3000 here to clap with your cheeks.
Let's get it. Quick disclaimer for my audience, the Stallions and Stallionettes, this microphone was sent for review, but this is going to be an honest, comprehensive review. I haven't been paid or told to say anything about it, so if there's any cons, shortcomings, or areas of improvement, you're going to hear about it, so these companies make better products over time. As for the packaging and included accessories on AverMedia's latest microphone, as it is AverMedia, all their boxes are either white and black or red and black, it's kind of their theme color. The model number for this is the AM350, not to be confused with the AM330, which is the latest model that is sold on Amazon. This one you have to go directly through AverMedia as of current, but I'm sure they'll sell on Amazon down the road. Some of the key or notable features: this is the first Dirac custom tuned microphone, which is pretty cool. This does have a software program called Vibe Engine, which I will be setting up and walking you through later in this video. Zero latency monitoring, that's really nothing out of the ordinary. Almost all USB microphones have a 3.5mm jack so you can monitor your voice, and a built-in pop filter. Again, they all do that. Without a built-in pop filter, your plosives would be insane. Peter Piper pickled a pepper. If you drive a Prius, you're gonna love to see that placard. A lot of information on this box. You have your tech specs and a little teaser of that software suite, which actually looks pretty damn awesome. I really hope it lives up to this picture. Now, this microphone is sold in a $200 kit that includes a pop filter as well as a shock mount, and then there is a $350 bundler kit that also includes a boom arm. Now, me personally, if you were going to pick up this microphone, I would recommend going for the cheapest possible option with hardly any included accessories. Not to say that the included accessories are hot, sticky garbage, but you can source better for cheaper. One clear wafer sticker at the top, and once you slice into that, you will have these cutouts for your fingers so you can easily lift the box within a box inception. Flip this pull tab in the front, microphones, and it comes spilling out. Nice little diagram here for setting up, and also the toggles, ports, and connectors. Love to see that. Pretty basic packaging, just some cardboard in here, no laser cut foam or anything, but not a problem here. If they want to cut costs on the packaging and pass that savings on to us, the consumer, friggin' for it. There's a QR code. You're going to scan that to get the Live Streamer app. However, I'm going to walk you through that later on the PC. This is just a divider with some matte black lettering. Very basic USB-C cable, rubber, not microfiber or braided. Just a bread bag tie, no Velcro tie backs, no dust covers on the USB-A or C end, but this is rather long at 10 foot, which is important because you're probably going to be running this down a boom arm. But if you are not going to be taking the boom arm route, it does include a little metal stand, which will get you by in a pinch and a clutch. However, I 100% recommend getting a boom arm. Even a little $15 cheapo off Amazon will get you much better results than using a stand on your desk. Then you are going to have some adapters, a threaded adapter for your boom arm / stand, and then a USB-A to C adapter as well. What is that for, you might be wondering? Well, this is actually compatible with mobile devices such as Android 9 and up and iPad 15 and up. Wait, not iPad generation 15, but iPad iOS software version 15. Very valuable warning on here: increasing the mic volume and monitoring volume too much can cause a feedback loop which will damage your hearing. And if you're a content creator, you probably know exactly what they're talking about. Humming, that reverbing where it repeats everything that's being absorbed through the microphone, and it sucks. But if you're dialing everything in as you should never encounter that issue. And as for the included instruction manual, it actually isn't half bad. You have these picture diagrams, no color or anything like that, but English is the primary language. Good font. I don't have to get my eyes too glued up against the parchment, and I really do like this page over here as it does give you a little visual diagram of all the audio waves, the frequencies. This is labeled as an all metal body. However, this is metal right here. The stand is metal, but this feels like plastic right here on this section. This top cap also feels like plastic that's painted aluminum, and then definitely down here, this little threaded section is also plastic. But overall, I would say it's like an 80% metal build, which isn't really out of the ordinary for this price point. The Blue Yeti's been out since the Civil War. It was kind of the golden standard for content creators for over a decade. And you look at all the USB microphones in this price point, the HyperX Quadcast, they use a partial or all metal build. You do have these two knobs on the side. Tightening these will increase the resistance. And as for the controls, ports, plugins, dials, this might seem nitpicky, but it is really frustrating. The resistance on these knobs is completely different. The one on the bottom is very, very loose, easy to spin, and the one on the top has triple the resistance. It's a real mind trick, and I'd like if these are both coordinated. God, also pressing in both the buttons feels and sounds completely different. But I'm very glad that those two physical knobs exist. And as far as what these knobs do, the top one is going to be your gain, so how loud, how hot you are in your mic. Keep in mind there's also 2 or 3 other places within Windows or Mac OS where you can control this, so make sure that all your sounds are coordinated. We'll go through that later in the setup, but this is going to be a physical dial for gain. Pressing it in is going to mute the microphone, and you are going to have a red LED around the outside of that button. The bottom over here is going to be a mic monitoring blend, so by pressing down on this button, it will light up if you're controlling your system sounds or your microphone sounds. Now keep in mind, this is not how loud everything is being recorded, but just how loud everything is being reproduced to you through that 3.5mm jack at the bottom. So if your voice is too loud in comparison to your game sounds, you'll be able to click and dial that in here. Personally, I hate mic monitoring. Leave it off completely. I don't like to hear myself through my headphones. The only perk to that is if you're somebody that turns on and off vocal effects. I have accidentally left on a vocal effect for like 7 minutes on a live stream and nobody told me that I had like a stupid chipmunk voice. And you do have a USB-C port at the bottom. This little toggle switch is going to be for the 2 capsule modes. You do have Cardioid, which is probably what you're going to leave it in 99.9% of the time. And this circular one over here is omnidirectional, meaning unlike unidirectional, facing in one direction, Omni means it's going to accept sound equally from all directions. So if you're using this for a conference, put it in the middle of the table and record all the executives around the round table. Yeah, you're probably not doing that with this mic. But more realistically, maybe you're doing some ASMR, like whispering into people's ears at 1 a.m. on Twitch. This would be great for that. It does say on their website that Omni would be great for streaming. Abso-freaking-lutely not. If you are a streamer or YouTuber, you're gonna stay in cardioid pattern. It's a hard word to say, but y'all know what I'm saying. Cardioid, because the pickup pattern is directly facing your suck hole, your mouth. Now, whenever you plug a new microphone into your Windows 10 or 11 PC, it should just work plug and play, but if it doesn't, there's something you can do. Over here in the bottom right click on the speaker icon and click Open Sound Settings. This is going to show you your outputs, so your speakers, as well as your inputs, your microphones. Lo and behold, as the good Lord intended, this was automatically plug and play. It just defaulted to Live Streamer Mic 350. However, we got to set it up in OBS or Open Broadcaster software. I'm assuming that's what you're using if you're a live streamer or YouTuber. You might be using Slobs or Streamlabs, which is virtually the same program, but a little bit more bloated with third-party jankiness on top of it. Over here in OBS, we're going to go to our settings, and you guessed it, we're going to go into audio. And as you can see, I only have one device selected over here. That's my broadcast stream mix, which is my Go XLR mixer. But we're going to select this drop down and we're going to replace it with, there it is. Had me a little bit nervous. I had OBS launch before I plugged in this new microphone. So just make sure you plug in your mic and then launch OBS, or just close it down, relaunch it so your sound sources refresh and you see your new mic over here. And we're going to select it, Live Streamer Mic 350, hit apply. Whoa, it happens in real time. All right, let me get close to this microphone. So the first thing you want to do is dial in your volume. Ooh, a little bit hot there. You can see I'm in the red. Not quite clipping, but getting close. So you're actually going to have gain in 3 separate places. One is going to be the physical dial knob on the microphone itself, which is where I recommend doing pretty much all of the control from. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You have this control slider right here, which I recommend just leaving at 100. Then over here in those sound settings we were diddling in earlier, this input volume here is actually how hot. Ooh, yikes, turn it down. I've never actually seen that before. Usually this is a separate slider, and I just max this out to 100 in Windows and then use the physical dial. However, that physical dial actually controls this as well. Awesome, so that's less juggling. Just leave this at 100 and then use that physical dial wheel. Let's see what the software can do for us. So this is also controlled from that physical dial on the microphone. That dial controls this software suite as well as your Windows 11 sound interface. Plugs right in and controls everything. Now we're gonna add a couple of effects here. We're gonna do a noise gate, also gonna add a compressor, an equalizer,
Add in a little bit closer because this is about where I'd be if I had my boom arm over here.
This is actually a pretty sweet application. I know that was probably jarring. I was talking while I was applying all those effects here, but you do have separate sliders, or tabs I should say, for all of these effects. This is also a good test of the handling noise because I got my grubby mitts, my palms all over it. You have all of your standard sliders for a noise gate, which is fantastic to see. You also have a live representation of what is happening with your voice, a real-time wave image, which is awesome. You've also got a voice changer in this application.
That's fun. Yep, I'm a man.
Now I'm a lady. I'm a pretty little girl.
I'm the deluxe Megatron 3000 here to clap at your cheeks.
Then you have effects over here. This is going to be pitch, right back in the middle, echo, and then you've got an amplification effect over here. I am amplifying my voice. It does look like it's getting freakishly loud. So let's turn all this crap off and just go into scenario mode, which is over here. So this is the chat scenario.
This is chat scenario.
This is the podcast. I'm running me a podcast. Welcome, Stallions and Stallionettes, to GamerHeaven. I'm your host, AK40 Kevin, and we are getting sweet on the airwaves tonight. Then this is singing over here, and then this is an instrument over here, as in I'm an instrument of destruction. Keep in mind, Dirac is applied to all of these vocal effects, as this mic is Dirac tuned from the factory.
And then if you click this hamburger drop down, you can see all of your effects that you have applied.
I will say it is cool that the AverMedia Vibe engine does have all of those settings, those modes, and a little note, you do need to keep that running over here in the toolbar, because if you right click and close that, it will take off all of your vocal effects. However, I'm going to show you some things you can do in OBS and Open Broadcaster software to make your voice sound substantially better. Go ahead and right click and go to filters, and we're going to add a few. You know what? Instead of you hanging out for this part, I actually did a tutorial about 2.5 years ago that'll be linked in the description below, where I do all the stuff I'm about to do now. The methods and techniques really haven't changed. They're still that sexy. Testing my testes. So this is with the default settings of OBS, noise gate and compressor. Keep in mind, these do matter what order they're in. The top will get applied first. Now you can make yourself sound better than this with this microphone using separate third-party VST plugins, which a lot of them are free and open source, but I'm not doing that. I'm just using the built-in effects right here in OBS, and as you can tell, it sounds a whole hell of a lot better than it did out of the box. This is what it would sound like if it was on a boom arm right here. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's try that Omni directional mode. Maybe I'm running a conference or something. Yeah, that's going to completely change up the sound profile because it's accepting sound from back there, so my PC fans and everything. Okay, that's enough of that. Alrighty, my comrades, my amigos, the Stallions and Stallionettes, we're going to run some audio tests and see how this microphone performs. This is in Cardioid mode, and this is with nothing but a compressor and a noise gate, so pretty much the most organic, natural, flat experience of how this microphone can sound. There's no artificially pumped in effects, but how it's going to sound for most with the out-of-the-box performance. So first up is going to be the semblance test, which is those harsh S's, which you can cut down with the de-esser in the application. Sandy sells seashells at the seashore and also sells her sentimental secrets to scumbum, scallywags, and sailors. Ooh, she sounds fun. Now we're going to check out the Plosive resistance. This is with just the built-in pop filter, not the external optional one. Peter Piper pickled a pepper. I'm on pickle patrol with Patricia. In Call of Duty, my gun goes pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pit-pat-pow. Peter Pan plundered his pastrami and some sweet pudding. Now we're going to test the proximity effect. This is 3 to 4 inches away from my mouth, where it should be normally, but now we're going to go a little bit further. This is about 6 to 8 inches away. That's a foot away. That's about an arm's length away. And this is with my lips so close they could scrape across the grill of this microphone. Now we're going to do a little typing test. Now I have changed my keyboard recently, so I don't have, well, they're mechanical switches, but they're not tactile clicky switches like I used to have. They're actually meant to be silent, so they're really not that loud, but I'm going to hammer on them pretty heavily, like I'm sending a very aggressive email. And we're going to see about the noise rejection from the rear tuchus of the microphone. So obviously what we'd like here is the microphone picking up my voice clear as day and then rejecting the keyboard typing. That might not be the case considering this is on a stand on my desk and the mic is actually closer to the keyboard than it is my mouth, something that would be remedied if I was on a boom arm. Let's get it. As per my previous email, Sharon, I refuse to lose. Fuck them 22s. Blind CC, send. They're fucking with a real one. Cool, I'm gonna grab a controller with some clicky mechanical bits on the back, some rear paddles, and see what that'd be like. All right, so I got my controller in front of me. I got 4 rear buttons or diblets on the back here. I barely ever use this controller. It's that Hex Halloween joint. It's almost Halloween again, and I reviewed this last Halloween. Here it's in my hand again. Test. This is with the controller in front of the microphone, and this is with the controller behind the microphone. Maybe I'm trying to get comfy on my desk. Last but not least, we're gonna finish up with a little bit of handling noise. Maybe you think you're a rock lord on stage and you need to be touching your microphone for some reason, which you probably should never do, but this doesn't have any of those capacitive touch buttons that you don't actually click, you just hover your hand over. How does it sound? As for the cons, I thought the packaging was a little bit lackluster for a $200 microphone. Also, the bundles just aren't a good value. The included pop filter and shock mount that comes with that one kit are not phenomenal, and then the boom arm included in the super expensive $300 plus kit, not great either. And I just want to use the little blue Ember as an example. That's a $100 microphone in some laser cut foam with a nice presentation. Some of Blue's mics are even in wooden boxes, even in the $200 price point. So this was just like, oh, here's your mic. But the biggest con, shortcoming, or area of improvement is hands down going to be the audio quality, the most important aspect of a microphone. This is a $26 Amazon Basics. Let me show you the branding so you know I'm not blowing smoke up your patooties. Also, that is a mini USB slot back there, not a micro, not a USB-C. I bought this microphone about 3 years ago, and lo and behold, this actually sounds better out of the box than this $200 microphone that we're reviewing here today, which is shocking. You could probably finagle, ring, or squeeze a little bit better audio quality out of this microphone with some VST plugins, mouth. But again, this is a USB microphone, a plug-and-play USB microphone, not an XLR microphone that you're running through a mixer or audio interface. You just want to get up and running with this thing, and it doesn't sound fantastic out of the box. That little metal stand was very quick and easy to get on and off. You just take that little plastic threaded piece and just zzz, whip it on. It doesn't make that noise. That came from my mouth, but you just whip it on there, and it's very quick to get on and off if you are going to be using that desk stand, which you shouldn't. The included USB-C cable was actually long enough to go down a boom arm and down my desk and plug into my PC, so that's really cool. Sometimes these USB mics have like a 4-foot, 6-foot cable. They ain't doing nothing for nobody. Pretty big one, and that's the fact that that software suite is actually really good. It has a lot of customization, a lot of tweakage, a lot of vocal effects that you can apply, and I thought that was pretty nice. Keep in mind you have to leave that running in your toolbar, because if you close it down, it will cut all those audio effects. It's not like it saves it to the microphone. That program has to be running. I also love the 2 physical control dials. It's great having just 1 dial. I always appreciate that, but having 2 so you can adjust your blend and then also your gain. That's the main one there. Having a physical gain knob is just fantastic. It's cool that this has Dirac support. As to my knowledge, this is the only microphone that has that.
I will say, in all honesty, listening back to that footage, it does sound phenomenal. In fact, it does sound pretty much indistinguishable from the Shure SM7B, a $400 microphone connected to a $400 mixer. Yeah, I could tell a pretty noticeable difference when I was rewatching this video through headphones or through my TV surround sound, but when I'm just watching it on my phone, which probably 90% of people watching my videos are, your ROI or return on investment on your audio equipment really isn't that substantial. Harris Heller, the stream doctor, made a video on this ages ago. Well, I guess now their channel's called Senpai Gaming. Anyway, you know, we all know who we're talking about here. Alpha Gaming made a video with like a $6,000 Blue Kiwi studio grade microphone. It was either $2,000 or $6,000. That's a huge difference there, but it was a very expensive microphone used for music production. And with all the compression of streaming and then bitrate stuff being uploaded to YouTube and your render settings and all this other good stuff, a microphone like the AverMedia 350 over here, when dialed in properly, will sound so good, almost indistinguishable from a high-grade XLR microphone. So it really does beg the question, why even buy one of these, other than to make yourself feel like a big boy or something. Huge pro is going to be the warranty period. By the end of October, AverMedia is going to be extending it to 3 years by standard, which is fantastic, or you can extend it a year by registering it online. So a 4-year warranty on this $200 microphone. This microphone is linked in the description below alongside an exclusive discount code for my audience if you want to check it out and you're not afraid of a little tweakage in OBS, because again, this isn't a great plug and play, gonna sound amazing right out of the box microphone, but this is a good, gonna sit down for 30 minutes and dial in some settings, and then it's gonna sound phenomenal microphone.
I'll see you Stallions and Stallionettes tomorrow. Peace. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at GamerHeaven. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. To get in touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of GamerHeaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number, and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting GamerHeaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.